Salve discipuli. All right, today we get the rest of our lesson 46 grammar. You're going to get a new construction that's a little bit funky. I don't want to tell you what it's called yet. I'm going to show you how it works. And in fact, I'm going to show you where it comes from. And then we'll talk about what it actually is. So, we're going to harken back to the very, very early days of Latin. That's wrong. Let's try this. Here we are, back at the very, very early days of Latin. Okay, so way, way back when, there was this dude, and he was scared. And so he said, timeo, which means, I am afraid. Okay? And you're wondering, why was he afraid? And if we look at the rest, this next sentence here, we'll figure out why he was afraid. Okay, he thought somebody was going to kill him. So he said, I am afraid. And then over here he used the hortatory subjunctive. You see that IA? And he said, may he not kill me. I'm afraid. May he not kill me. Alright, makes sense. He doesn't want the guy to kill him, and he's afraid the guy might, so that's why he's afraid. Okay? That sounds pretty redundant. Anyway, over time, these two sentences came together to make one sentence. And that sentence was timeo ne me interficiat. Alright? This sentence means I am afraid that he might kill me. Okay? You see how these two ideas get scrunched together? Now they mean I'm afraid that he might kill me. Okay? Let's look at another sentence. Long time ago, this same dude was like, I'm afraid. Okay, and since he thought he was going to be killed, his idea was, hey, I'll kill that guy first. And so he said, eam interficiam. Let me kill him. I'm afraid. May I kill him? So this was his way of saying, I'm afraid, and the best thing for me to do is to kill him so I don't have to be afraid anymore. By the way, violence is wrong. Alright, so what happened over time? The two separate thoughts came together, and then the guy was saying, timeo ut eam interficiam, I am afraid that I might not kill him. Okay? You guys should be seeing something really weird going on here. This ne up here meant that, and this ut down here meant that not. Exactly the opposite of what you would expect. This is what happens in what's called a fearing clause. Okay, and so here's the main lesson, people. When you have a verb of fearing, a verb that expresses the idea of fear, like timeo, I am afraid, you're going to follow it usually with an ut or a ne, and then a subjunctive verb. Okay? The trick is that ut or ne is going to be the exact opposite of what you expect. I am afraid that he is killing me, or I am afraid that he might kill me. And then down here with the ut, I am afraid that I might not kill him. Okay? I know my explanation was probably kind of funky, and the concept is kind of funky, but what you really need to know from this is a fearing clause with a verb of fearing will be followed by an ut or ne, or we'll have an ut or ne, and they will mean the opposite of what you expect. And then you'll have a subjunctive verb. So, let's try an example. Number 3. Timebamus ne milites nostrum opidum oppugnarent. So we have two main verbs. So we all know we're going to have two clauses. We're going to divide it at the ne, as we've been doing for a while now. You're going to note that oppugnarent is a subjunctive over here. Notice the oppugnare, that's an imperfect subjunctive. It's got the second part right in there. So, we were afraid, or maybe we were fearing. Then we have a ne. And since this is a fearing clause, the ne is going to be the opposite of what we expect. We were fearing that. Then we're going to have milites as our nominative. Nostrum opinum as a direct object. So, we were fearing that the soldiers might attack our town. Okay? We were afraid that the soldiers might attack our town. Okay? Now let's look at number 4. Timet ut aquam ad vilam servi portent. We have two verbs, timet and portent. We have two clauses. We're going to divide them at the ut. Okay? In the right half, we have servi as a subject, as a nominative plural. We have aquam as an accusative direct object. We know we have a fearing clause because we have a verb of fearing and then an ut or nay and then a subjunctive. So, he is afraid. Then we have an ut. It's going to be the opposite of what we expect because this is a fearing verb. He is afraid that the slaves are not carrying water to the house. Okay, so he fears that the slaves are not carrying water to the house. Woo! If anybody said bless you, thank you. If you didn't, I don't know what to say. Alright, let's try some more. Alright, next sentence. Timeo ne milites fugiant. Okay, notice our two verbs, timeo and fugiant. Notice fugiant is a present tense subjunctive, right? We beat a liar, friar. Going to divide our clauses at ne. Fugio means to flee. You guys know the word milites. Can you guys figure out this sentence? Timeo ne milites fugiant? That's right. I am afraid that the soldiers are fleeing. Okay? This could also possibly be, I am afraid that the soldiers will flee. Either one of those is correct. Kind of a weird concept, but it's true. I am afraid that the soldiers are fleeing. I am afraid that the soldiers will flee. Now let's look at sentence number 2. Timeo ne milites fugerent. Okay, we now have two verbs again. Everything's the same, in fact, except instead of fugiant, which is present tense subjunctive, we have fugerent with that eri, which is a perfect tense subjunctive. So all we've done is change the tense. So this one means I am afraid that the soldiers fled. Okay, right now I'm afraid that the soldiers already fled. Okay, see the difference? This present subjunctive tells you it's happening the same time or time after the main verb. The perfect subjunctive tells you it's happening before the main verb. I am afraid that the soldiers already fled. Let's look at number 3. Timebamus ne servus caperator. We got two main verbs, two clauses, divided the ne. Okay, we got servus as a nominative over here, kind of like milites was nominative up here. All right, we go with timebamus. We were afraid that the slave was captured. Okay, caperator is an imperfect subjunctive. You see the capera there? That's like a second part of a dictionary entry. Imperfect subjunctive. We were afraid that the slave was captured. This could also be, we were afraid that the slave would be captured. Okay, can either be same time, we're afraid was captured, or time after, we're afraid would be captured. Tough concept. Now, what's going to happen now? We've got, I just used now twice in the same sentence. That's embarrassing. Alright, now we've got a pluperfect subjunctive down here. This was imperfect subjunctive. This is pluperfect. Pluperfect is going to show time before the main verb. So, timebamus. We were afraid that the slave, how do you put it? Time before. This is we were afraid that the slave was being captured. This is we were afraid that the slave had been captured. Okay? So what does that mean? The perfect tense here, this is hard to do, people. You may not realize it, but that was just really impressive what I just did. Perfect tense there and pluperfect down here both tell you that this verbal action happened before the main verb. I fear right now that the soldiers fled earlier. We feared yesterday that the slave already had been captured days before. Okay? So that's how we use our perfect and pluperfect subjunctive. Alright, I hope you took good notes, because I'm feeling like it'd be a great idea to quiz you on this the next time we meet. Waleta, Discipuli.